around the
Anger.
world.
There's plenty of anger right now. How can you have more?
You don't think it'll exacerbate the problem?
David, I mean, I know you're a sophisticated guy. The world is a mess. The world is as angry as it gets. Well, you think this is going to cause a little more anger? The world is an angry place. All of this has happened. We went into Iraq. We shouldn't have gone into Iraq. We shouldn't have gotten out the way we got out. The world is a total mess. The world is a mess, David.
I can't go any further. Ah! Wait a second.
Wait a second.
Wait a minute. I'm white.
About 3 months ago, I uploaded a series of hot takes about Dead by Daylight, in which I mocked the current state of the game with its incompetent developers and blatantly survivor-sided meta. Within days of uploading those videos, like moths to a flame, my comment section was suddenly swarmed by fake wholesome, pseudo-intellectual Reddit types who were all attempting to lecture me on how my opinions were somehow biased, unacceptable, or untruthful because their minds are unable to tolerate critical statements about the reality of the game that they willingly waste hundreds of hours of their lives on. It's through this experience, and by witnessing the recent community reception to the absolute slop that is the Jason chapter, that I've come to a damning realization. 99% of Dead by Daylight players are actually retarded. To begin, if you've played Killer at all in 2026, you would already know that the game is in one of the most disgusting survivor-sided states it has ever been in.
I hate being alive! I hate being alive! I hate breathing! I hate being alive! I'm in tremendous pain! I'm in tremendous pain! Help me! Help me! Help me!
Never before have I seen a game that caters to one specific side so hard, has its own literal propaganda network, consistently reaffirms that a huge amount of its player base are mid-witted, performative, high-ego scum. Yet for some reason, the masses are influenced by YouTubers, by propaganda, by Zog psyops or otherwise, that this game is not biased and that I am just a whiny killer main complaining or whatever anytime I say these astute observations. They have proven time and time again that they favor Survivor players, and for obviously greedy financial reasons. It's very apparent that a disproportionate amount of the player base is people who only play Survivor.
So, first one. How many killer mains do we have here? Okay. Survivor mains? It's about a 4-to-1 ratio.
Casual players arrive and quickly see that Killer takes way too much skill in understanding the game mechanics, so they all flock to play Survivor instead, the much easier power role. Because Survivor in 2026 is so easy with all the crutch perks like Windows, Sprint Burst, and Dead Hard, it attracts the worst subsets of people in arguably all of modern gaming. The talentless idiots, gooners, e-girls, and attention seekers who lack the technical skill to play something like an FPS shooter, but still want to get artificial ego boosts and validation by winning matches and mindlessly buying skins in an online game. More often than not, they're pure consumerist, porn-brained slaves, typically choosing to only play conventionally attractive and unnaturally skinny female survivors, purchasing every single skin that comes out for them and lying to themselves that it's some kind of accomplishment. It's at this point that I'll also observe, fitting the performative, virtue-signaling, high-ego nature of most of the player base, they appear to be disproportionately insufferable leftists and sexual deviants, with a huge amount of them equipping LGBTQ pride charms and banners, to the point where it's rare to go into a single lobby that doesn't have at least one degenerate using them. Continuing with this, if you look at their Steam profile, at least 1 in 10 players are going to have some weird anime femboy or otherwise porn-themed account.
In this county, you are going to jail.
With I myself personally having encountered so many disgusting pervert survivors that I enabled the setting to hide usernames entirely. As with everything else that degen Survivor mains do, the devs encourage this, seeing as last year they did a special Pride Month stream where they brought on and promoted individuals that look like this.
I love me some Drag Trashly. I love me some Killer, but I was rooting for Critical Bar there. I mean, a Hatch escape is a win for everybody.
Anyways, because this is the only game these talentless, skillless husks of humans have any hope of being proficient at, or are unfortunately included in or promoted in to such an extent, they dedicate their lives to it, inevitably racking up thousands of hours of gameplay to the point that it's arguably more surprising to find a high MMR Survivor main who doesn't have at least 2,000 hours and hundreds of dollars spent on the game. Behavior notices this and predictably chooses to pander to these pay pigs, knowing that as long as they keep the game nice and easy, these imbeciles will continue pouring every penny into Sable, Kate, and Fengmin. They don't dare support or buff killers, because that would alienate these attention-seeking Survivor mains who need the whole game to revolve around them. Therefore, as behavior is more corporate than ever, everything is catered to these people now, and their egos inflate exponentially because of it. Hop into any decently high MMR match as Killer, and I guarantee you will meet massive ego survivors deluded into thinking their shiny skins or prestige 100 badges are worth anything, playing in the most obnoxious, special ed, baby's first way possible, all running the exact same crutch builds and intentionally doing everything they can to be the most annoying losers possible. And then, when they predictably win because the whole game is rigged in their favor, they will get a massive ego trip, and then many will revert to a saccharine, fake wholesome demeanor designed to maximize attention seeking, typing GG in chat but only because the killer allowed themselves to be abused. In the rare case that the killer stands on business and wins, you can expect a total meltdown from these salty man-children. They expect everything and everyone in the game to serve them and their ego, and to be fair, it very much does. Just in the past year, the devs tried to enact the absurd anti-tunneling and slugging update intended to prevent the two most common killer strategies that survivors complain about, not once, but twice, ultimately canceling it both times due to near unanimous backlash from killer players. The fact they tried to enact such blatantly anti-killer changes at all, let alone multiple times, speaks for itself. They still got away with enacting the pallet density update, which added comical amounts of filler pallets everywhere and made playing any killer below S tier feel like sticking your genitalia into a meat grinder.
Fucking whores! You fucking whores! Hit it, retard!
They never fully reverted this change, by the way, as when they finally took feedback from killers and reduced the density after multiple months, the Survivor mains instantly started crying, and it was increased again within a week. When the devs are making decisions this cartoonishly biased, you cannot tell me with a straight face that the game is balanced or not Survivor-sided. But you know the worst part of all this? They have intentionally designed the game's culture in such a way so that a huge amount of the player base are influenced to actually believe and uphold the propaganda notion that the game is somehow fair or well-designed. Whenever I've called the game Survivor-sided, I've received both lengthy essays from pseudo-intellectuals trying to explain to me how I need to reevaluate my mindset and understand what Survivor players go through before blindly hating on them, as well as comments from obvious iPad kids or men with failing marriages calling me a dumb killer main, or reducing my criticisms to a skill issue. It's extremely ironic that they assume these things, seeing as I have never actually claimed to be a killer main, play at least 40 to 60 Survivor and Killer, have literally paid for numerous Survivor cosmetics, and briefly shown them in previous videos. Still, these people are so brainwashed that their minds are incapable of comprehending the notion that not everything is black and white, and I can absolutely hate the culture of whiny Survivor mains while still playing Survivor myself. One of the best videos on my channel to date is the one where I talk about how I hate Springtrap mains and the closely correlated phenomenon of quote-unquote wholesome killers who intentionally humiliate themselves for Survivor's entertainment by playing a funny, wholesome, Reddit-approved killer instead of someone skillful. That particular video hilariously got a terrible reception with a ton of dislikes because it simultaneously pissed off both Survivor players and the disproportionate amount of wholesome Reddit troon killer mains who pander to them. Even more hilariously, my YouTube analytics revealed that only a small percentage of viewers actually watched past the 2-minute mark of that video, meaning that they clicked onto it, and as soon as they heard an opinion that contradicts the narrative established in their mind, they immediately began frothing at the mouth, clicking off but not before going out of their way to leave a self-righteous comment about how they're better people than me, despite having just experienced a realistic panic attack over a video game opinion. Anyways, I've noticed those aforementioned wholesome killer mains have permeated the killer spaces, to the point that it seems to have taken over the culture, and a disconcerting number of new players are led to believe that killers are obligated to act wholesome and intentionally play badly so that all survivors have fun, publicly declaring how much they hate tunneling, slugging, and the evil killers who actually try to win. This culture of propaganda continues even further though, as Behavior notably introduced the Dead by Daylight Creator Program, where they select prominent YouTubers and streamers to represent the game and receive official partnerships and creator codes inside the in-game store. Conveniently, all of these approved quote-unquote creators do nothing but spout the most lukewarm takes, promoting bizarre, disingenuous balanced discourse in the community, always saying things like, the game should strive to hit an even balance between killer and survivor, or tunneling and slugging have become an issue and need to be addressed under the pretense of wanting the game to be heckin' fun and wholesome for everybody. To translate those newspeak phrases theirs means that these YouTubers are almost entirely biased towards survivors, regardless of whether they claim to be wholesome killer mains or whatever. Almost all of DBD YouTube is like this, with identical YouTubers like Scott Jund, Hens333, and Ots Darva, who just make slop content repeating these disingenuous lukewarm opinions every day, pandering to the hardcore survivor mains and instilling the messaging in casual players' minds so that almost no one ever dares think something unique. For example, the most prominent Blight streamer, Lilith Omen, who despite supposedly being a Blight main, directly advocated for Behavior to nerf him, and also on numerous occasions intentionally dispelled propaganda supporting the false narrative that Blight is overpowered because he's the killer survivors love to complain about. In general, these YouTubers are all mental slaves, drones, may as well be subhumans, and no one can tell me otherwise. The recently released Jason killer is absolute underpowered slop that may as well be AI generated, but all these cucks pretended to be excited, making soy faces and screaming like retards over it, insisting that a 4.4 killer with a terrible uninspired projectile and teleport is extremely creative and warrants being put in A tier. Look at this buffoon, Spooky Loops, who claims to have spent 10 hours sitting on the game playing Jason. What a pathetic waste of a life right here. Why do we allow these people to have any influence in society, online or otherwise? I absolutely hate what this game has become, and have very little urge to talk about it or play it any longer. Perhaps if more players were vocal like this and saw the truth and boycotted the game, the devs would listen, but it's highly unlikely. The true reality behind this game has never been painted more clearly on the wall, and in order to not notice it and continue playing it, believing everything to be perfectly fine, you must be blind, in denial, or, as the title says, mentally retarded.
Fuck you! Ban Prometheus, Pyrometheus, whatever, fuck you. Get the fuck out my stream.